Leftists melt down after the Supreme Court delivers multiple Trump wins. Losers. MSNBC legal analyst has meltdown over SCOTUS ruling limiting injunctions by lower courts. Leah Litman is a law professor at the University of Michigan and serves as a legal analyst for the far-left MSNBC, and she did not have a good day the other day. Reacting to the Supreme Court of the United States' ruling that limits injunctions from lower courts, Litman cited the dissents from liberal justices Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson. These people obviously know what a huge win this was for the Trump administration, and they are in complete panic. Newsbusters reports, University of Michigan assistant law professor Leah Litman's jaw literally dropped when the rulings were released. To take a break from clutching her pearls, she touted the belligerence and hyperbolic dissent from the liberal activist justices.
I just want to note the Democratic appointees' strong dissents in this case. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson calls the court's decision an existential threat to the rule of law. Justice Sotomayor's dissent says no right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates. She calls the court complicit in a grave attack on our system of law. The reality is the Supreme Court's Republican justices took away lower courts' single powerful tool, the most powerful tool for reining in the Trump administration and holding them accountable to the law.
Like, I just want you to know, like, we're all gonna die. We're in a dictatorship. Trump's gonna kill us all. It's authoritarianism, and it never happens. It's the same crap over and over and over again. These people are just pissed that they're not getting their way, and they throw tantrums publicly as a result. Here's another. As the Trump administration continues to rack up Supreme Court victories, MSNBC legal analyst pleads for more lawfare. As the Supreme Court delivered multiple wins to the Trump administration last Friday, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace was left trapped doom spiraling as a result as well. For Wallace and her guest Melissa Murray, a so-called legal analyst for the far-left network, this was all too much to wrap their minds around, and it showed.
And I want to be very clear with the viewers at home. This is a really grave situation. This court has effectively taken the restraints off of this administration. We don't have a Congress that is stepping in to rein in this administration. All we've had are lower court judges who are looking at the lawlessness of this administration, saying, not on my watch, imposing these nationwide injunctions to stop the damage in its tracks. And this court has now said that limited tool, that limited judicial remedy goes too far. And instead, what individual litigants are going to have to do is go to every district in this country to litigate, to stop the administration in its tracks, or somehow find, at a time when the administration has made the availability of lawyers scarce, find a lawyer who is willing to take on the challenge of mounting a class action to go and challenge this administration. This court has made it absolutely impossible to try and stop the worst of what the administration is doing. So there really aren't silver linings. Yes, there are some litigants now who have amended their complaints and filed class actions, but the idea that we are going to do this for everything is really just unfathomable. It's not just birthright citizenship that is at stake. These nationwide injunctions have been used across the board to stop this administration from firing federal workers, to stop this administration from rescinding funding from research institutions and universities. All of that ends now. The gloves are off. There are no restraints, no checks on this administration. We are entering a very dangerous moment.
Oh, boo-hoo. These DEI hires have no idea what they're talking about. Translation: oh no, we can't hijack the executive branch anymore. We can't subvert the executive branch anymore. We can't stop the President of the United States from exercising his constitutional duties, not only powers, duties, with this judicial coup. Good. Cry more. Cancer, acne rosacea, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis are 4 different diseases in 4 different areas of medicine. What if they can all be treated with parasite medication, and that turns out for these diseases to be true? What if I told you that if you had a pet or ate sushi, you are more likely to have parasites? This means that a lot of our ailments that we experience every day are caused not by environmental issues, but by parasites as well. This is something Big Pharma does not want you to know about. I know many of us check off many of these boxes. This is why Purge is offering their new liver cleanse products. For all of you out there that need to clear those toxins out once and for all, PurgeStore.com offers everything you need to cleanse and detox your body. Powerful enzymes and probiotics, 15-day colon cleanse protocols, liver cleanse, and of course, the parasite cleanse. Right now, if you go to PurgeStore.com and use promo code DREW, that's DREW, you will get 20% off your entire order. Use the link in the description below, PurgeStore.com, and support the Gateway Pundit today. The Gateway Pundit is supported by the people, we the people, that is you, the American people. We thank you for your support. Speaking of DEI hires, Representative Brandon Gill embarrasses racist DEI expert with a few simple questions during testy hearing. Representative Brandon Gill is fast emerging as one of the brightest young stars of the Republican Party. On Wednesday, he displayed this talent while facing off against a so-called DEI expert named Dr. Sean Harper during a congressional hearing called, quote, "Sacrificing Excellence for Ideology, the Real Cost of DEI." Harper is a University of Southern California so-called professor who specializes in research focused on racial and gender equity and inclusion, according to his school biography. Naturally, he served as the House Democrats' witness during the hearing. Gill immediately sought to expose Harper as a complete fraud by asking a handful of simple questions that someone with his experience should be able to answer without issue. Harper failed miserably to properly answer these questions and was left stumped completely at one point. Due to this, Gill was able to make a complete mockery of the witness and the whole racist practice of DEI entirely.
Should race be considered in employer hiring practices? Yes or no?
I believe that diversity ought to be considered as companies and other organizations attempt to reflect their customers, our country.
I'll take that as a yes. Which race do you think should be preferred?
I do not think that a single race should be preferred.
You just said that you believe that race should be considered in employer hiring practices.
I don't know. There's going to be a transcript of this hearing. I didn't say that in that way.
Okay, why don't you explain what you believe?
What I said and what I believe is that the demographic composition of workplaces,
which
our nation's military,
and
so on,
composition,
our Congress ought to reflect the diversity of the United States of America.
Demographic composition. Racial demographic. Is that what you're saying?
Racial, gender.
Okay, so race should be a factor in employer hiring practices. Yeah, that's what you're saying, is it not?
Organizations ought to attempt to match the diversity of their...
You're hopping around the question.
No,
you don't want to
I am
answering.
Notice they look like a deer in headlights and they attempt to squirm away and evade the questions when they're confronted with the reality of their despicable ideologies and beliefs. Because they're not bold. They're not stunning, proud, and strong. They're cowards. And actually, the real racists. Here's another DEI hire. Former Representative Jamal Bowman says the N-word is to blame for blacks suffering from obesity, cancer, and heart disease. Former Congressman Jamal Bowman has claimed that black people are suffering from serious medical conditions because they are called the N-word so regularly, even though they use it like a million billion times a day. Appearing on a CNN panel on Thursday, Bowman outlined his theory that rates of cancer, obesity, and heart disease are higher among black Americans because of people allegedly using the N-word.
Listen to what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and obesity and diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day. If your colleagues would listen and try to learn and engage and grow and stop being so hateful, we could have a better country.
It totally has nothing to do with this constant hyperventilating and this victimhood mentality and self-inflicted stress applied every single day, no matter how successful you become. It's totally not due to that because of the scary, racist, white boogeyman that is around every single corner that is out to get black and brown people. This is what people are absolutely sick of. Another one. Representative LaMonica McIver tells Jen Psaki she never thought she'd face charges over alleged assault at anti-ICE rally. New Jersey Representative LaMonica McIver appeared on Jen Psaki's MSNBC show this week and said that she never thought she'd face charges over her alleged assault during an anti-ICE stunt.
I mean, there was a mix of emotions to be there. I mean, obviously, you know, this is a crazy situation. I never thought I would be facing charges as a sitting congresswoman.
Yeah, because it's rules for thee, but not for me. Also, these are DEI hires that have created a special protected class for themselves, especially after the 2020 race riot op that burned down nearly the entire country, but also the defund the police initiative in operations that made it impossible to hold a black person accountable. This is just simply true. As a result, it's led to these DEI operatives that are in U.S. Congress that not only believe that they are elite, but they also believe that they are untouchable and invincible as a result. My name is Drew Hernandez for the Gateway Pundit, and you have been on Watch with Drew Hernandez. I'll see you guys on the next one.